Hey there, good evening, and welcome to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So, we're back with a look back at a classic rock album show we do on Monday nights. And the album I have chosen to talk about tonight is the 16th studio album, at least 16th in the UK, 18th here in, in North America, which is the Rolling Stones' Tattoo You. This is kind of the final album for me when I was buying vinyl and stuff like that during that period. Now, I have a feeling I owned it, but I'm not 100% sure. It may have been my friend's album, because for those of you who have followed me, they know that my friend would buy one and I would buy one. So, and then we would tape each other's album, and so that we both had the two albums for the price of one, I guess is the way you want to look at it. And I think I bought the Emotional Rescue album in 1980, so it was his turn to buy Tattoo You in 1981. But I'm not even sure we were still doing it by that point in time. He might have just bought it and I just heard it. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, kind of the last one that I was into before I kind of drifted away from the rock scene and from that early stuff in the 80s. So this album released August the 24th, 1981. It's about 44 minutes in length. It's on the Rolling Stone record label and produced by the Glimmer Twins. Yeah, there's two pictures here, eh? One of each. There you go. So anyways, this particular opening track, Start Me Up, which is the kind of big hit on the album. It's kind of one of their bigger hits too, at least in the 70s and 80s. Was originally kind of done the backtracking on this, because you're going to see this is common for this whole album. So I guess I should tell you the story before I get too far into it. So the story is that they wanted to go on tour. They weren't really talking to each other. They were kind of in their not getting along phase, which they've had a few of those. But so they wanted also to do an album. If they were going to do the tour, they wanted to have an album to go along with the tour. So they decided to put it out. But they didn't really have the time to make a fully new album. So what they did is they took some backtracks from songs that didn't make it, or B cuts and all that kind of stuff from the last 10 years or so before this album, and they remixed some of them they added stuff to fill out the album. That's basically what they did. So there are 11 tracks on the album in total. I'll try to tell you a little about each of the songs' histories as we go along. So this first one is Start Me Up. Great tune. Really catchy guitar riff. Nice commercially strong song for them, and it basically a catchy hit single. It was originally, the backtracks originally done during the Some Girls tour, and then updated for this album. Next song is called Hang Fire. This one I like almost as much as Start Me Up. Maybe not quite as much, but pretty close. This was also done during the Some Girls tour, and you can see it when you hear it. You kind of hear that it's got a little bit of that going on here. Another catchy hit with some high-pitched, catchy guitar parts in here that they throw in throughout the song. Mick's voice is very, it's pretty thorough sounding sound, very backish sound. I don't know how you want to say it. Just typical Mick Jagger sounding voice, I guess is the best way to put it on this track. Next track is called Slave. This is comes from the backtracks from the Black and Blue album era. Heavy riff, nice drum beat, very strong rhythm section, very bluesy feel to it, which, if you hear it, you'll hear that Black and Blue sound on there too. Next track is kind of an Emotional Rescue track. This one really kind of sounds like that Emotional Rescue time period. I own that album, and I've listened to it for many years. I think the vocals on this one are by Keith Richards. They're definitely not Mick, so I'm assuming it's Keith. Sounds like him. It's pretty. It's kind of a catchy track. It's called Little T and A here. Yeah, pretty strong song, I think. One of the stronger ones on the album. Then you got Black Limousine next. Got it's a very bluesy number with a kind of twangy, vocally voice that Mick is pretty good at doing. It does pick up tempo and got this kind of a bluesy guitar part to it at the end as well. Pretty decent track though. Next up is Neighbors. So I'm just going to move my notes up here a bit. It's a catchy track and also comes with a video. Nice sax solo at the end as well. It kind of pays homage to the Alfred Hitchcock movie Rear Windows. And you could see it when you, because I've seen the movie and I read somewhere that this was a homage to it, and you can see definitely that's where they're going for here. If you've seen Rear Window, it's a murder mystery movie starring Jimmy Stewart and Grace Kelly on that. And just a really good movie, and they're paying a little bit of a homage to it. It's kind of a bluesy but commercial track nevertheless. So a good track. I think it pays good homage to this thing. They kind of have a comedy thing going on. There's a sex scene in one window, another guy's doing Tai Chi, somebody else is putting parts of a body in a suitcase. Yeah, kind of weird. Anyways, the next track up is called Neighbors. Neighbors. Sorry, that's the song we were just talking about. Neighbors, Black Limousine was before that. Okay, so the next track up is called Worried About You. That's where I was going here. Another kind of song from that Black and Blue era. This one's more of a ballad, though. Some nice keyboards in here. And in the video, you see that Mick's playing the keyboards. I don't know if he's actually playing the keyboards or even singing. I've heard that most of the stuff was lip-synced for the videos. And he's using that falsetto voice that he I think developed a lot on Emotional Rescue, but maybe he did do some stuff in the past as well. And it's a very, like I said, a very bluesy track. I'm going to flip over, so there's like 5 tracks left. Tops is the next one. This one is a slow melodic track, vocally dominant, and very bluesy with some piano. And it originally was did the outtakes for it back during the Goat's Head Soup album time. So pretty interesting track. Anyways, next up is Heaven, another song from Emotional Rescue era. Slow, melodic, low-key track. A bit of this one has a bit of a psychedelic flair to it too. I feel like there's some psychedelic going on here. At times, it's very almost spacey. And I kind of like it for that reason. It's a little bit different. The next track up is No Use in Crying. So this is another slow melodic track with some distortion parts and some psychedelic feel to the track. Very bluesy in parts as well. I didn't like this one quite as much as Heaven, but it was not too bad. The final track is called Waiting on a Friend. This is another one that did very well commercially. Slow melodic with some piano at the opening. And then you got, and piano actually throughout the track, really. Poppy and catchy track, really. Mixed vocals dominate here. And there's a nice sax part at the end, which is really quite good. And if you see the video, you'll see they're standing on kind of the front of a building, an opening to a building on the upper part of the stairwell. And this building is the same building they use on Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. I actually didn't notice it. The first time I saw the video maybe 2 or 3 times over the years, and it didn't occur to me until I read somewhere that that's what it was. And this also came from the Goat's Head Soup time period in their history. So I don't want to give the impression that all these songs are just tracks that they took and just threw on the album. They didn't just do that. They took the back tracks and they added their own parts and modernized it so it all had this kind of similar sound on here. You can hear little bits of some of the other albums in here on those tracks, but basically they upgraded all the songs to fit the mood of the day, and so they're basically pretty strongly from this time period, but there is definitely an influence from those albums. Even so, some of the guitar solos on some of those were Mick Taylor and other guitarists playing in there that weren't credited on the album, but actually did do that, and they've come out and said it lately. When they redid a lot of these albums, they've mentioned that those guys were involved with that, and it wasn't actually in the video. One of the videos, you'll see Ron Wood doing the guitar part, but it's actually Mick Taylor did the original guitar part, and that's the part that they're imitating on the video. So overall, it's a strong album. I think to me, it's probably one of their last great albums before more modern times, until they did the recent one, Hackney Diamonds, not too long ago, which I thought was really good and kind of has that old style as well. This is kind of the last of those albums, and then they kind of go off into a bit of a different direction. But anyways, Start Me Up, or sorry, not Start Me Up, Tattoo You from the Rolling Stones, released in 1981. That's my choice for a look back at a classic rock album today. Please hit the like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and if you want, you can leave your own comments about the Rolling Stones or Tattoo You or anything I've said. If you want to correct anything I've said, that's fine too. I don't mind. Nobody's perfect, although some people think you should be. Anyways, I hope to see you all again next week for another look back at another classic rock album. Have yourself a good evening, and good night, and goodbye.